welcome to the daily newspaper analysis, which is brought to you by LawSikho. Today, we have a very interesting article that we have taken from the Hindu newspaper that talks about the future of the Uniform Civil Code. So, what exactly is it? Which state has come forward to bring up the Uniform Civil Code? What is the possibility of bringing it up? Will be discussed in this article. Then, we'll be discussing the news update and legal news for the day. So as we know that Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has recently declared that it will be coming up with a uniform civil code, and thus in the same light a uniform committee, basically a committee that has been prepared to draft the uniform civil code for Uttarakhand. Here is a question for you all. Before we begin with this discussion, I hope that you all know that what exactly is uniform civil code. So here is a task for you all. Pause this video right now and let me know that whether or not Uniform Civil Code is a fundamental right or a directive principle of state policy. Also, let me know that which article of the Indian Constitution talks about the UCC. Let's see how many of you can give the right answer. Moving further, let's see that what do we have as an opposition to the idea of a uniform civil code. So Muslim groups, particularly the ulemas basically, if you know, these are the preachers of the Muslim law, the one who propagate the Muslim law further. They have been opposing to this idea of UCC, that is Uniform Civil Code, for a long time. So the Jamaat Ulema Hind, led by Mahmood Asad Madani, recently passed a resolution against the Uniform Civil Code. Now, as we know, that when we talk about Uniform Civil Code, it talks about bringing at uniformity, bringing at par all the personal laws. Let me give you an example. When we talk about the basic constitutional laws, we talk about the criminal laws in the country, they are same and equal for all. Let's say a person commits murder, so he will be given same punishment under Section 302 of IPC, irrespective of his religion, his caste, and his, anything for that matter. But let's say when we talk about the idea of polygamy or the idea of marriage, so a Hindu, man is allowed only one single marriage, whereas a Muslim man, because of the personal laws that he has, the Sharia laws, is allowed 4 marriages. So definitely now here we see that the personal laws, the religious personal laws, are not same and equal in the country. When we talk about the Uniform Civil Code, so it says that we shall be bringing at uniformity through a code all the civil laws of the country. So I hope that you're understanding the answer is right there in the discussion, in the name itself, Uniform Civil Code, wherein we try to bring the uniformity all the civil laws for all the religions in the country. Definitely. Now we can see that when there are differences, and that too huge differences between specifically the Hindu laws and the Muslim laws, so there will be clashes and not all would be willing to come up with the Uniform Civil Code. So the fear of UCC and the preservation of Muslim personal law were the reasons for the formation of the AIM-LAB, and that was the All India Muslim, League for bringing up, the Sharia laws forward. Then the Hindu right is of the view that is the Hindu rightist, the people, they're of the view that Muslims are being pampered by being allowed to have their own personal laws in a Hindu majority country, and therefore need to be disciplined and brought under a uniform civil code. So during the speech of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, it was appreciated, the practice, and then this practice of consent by brides in Muslim marriage rituals as progressive, where it said that when, as you know, you must have seen a lot of movies and TV serials as well, that when Muslims, there is a Muslim wedding going on, so even the girl is equally asked if she wants to marry or not, and it is asked thrice. You must all know the very infamous saying of Kabul hai. So yes, of course, you must know that here also there is a complete right that is there with the boy as well as the girl. They can deny the marriage even at the last moment as well, and this was appreciated at that time. So the questions basically arises as to how the Hindu right wing would react if this practice is accepted as part of the Uniform Civil Code, that this is done, because this practice is not really a part of the Hindu law for that matter. So various Indian feminists have recognized many anti-women biases in the Hindu code bill which are not adequately brought forward in the Indian public debate. So that is why there are arguments both in favor and against of the Uniform Civil Code. Let's see if at all we have the Uniform Civil Code in hand, what it would actually look like. So Upendra Bakshi, in a workshop on dispelling rhetorics, law of divorce and gender equality in Assam in 2017, said that do we know enough about the personal law of various tribal communities from which the UCC may choose? See, we, at a larger picture, only debate, between the Hindus and the Muslims. But do we not realize that we also have a lot of other personal laws also, which are a part of various tribal communities as well? Now, for example, always know, you must know about the Nayars of Kerala. You also must know about a few tribes in the northeast India, wherein they follow a matrilineal system, or even a matriarchal system for that matter, wherein the groom leaves his house and comes to live with the bride and her family. So in this regard, it was all a very intricate part of their personal laws. So what do you think, or how do you think will that be able to adjust in the mainstream system of the Uniform Civil Code? So it says that do we know enough about the religious personal laws of other Indian communities as well? So it says that it is a sad mistake to think UCC is all about Hindu-Muslim relations and identities, which is so aptly pointed out over here, that it is actually not just about the tussle between Hindu and Muslim personal laws. Rather, there are a lot of other personal laws that might, come as a point of clash when we come forward with the Uniform Civil Code. So the caste system, which is integral to Hindu society, celebrates hierarchy, which in turn is incompatible with the idea of uniformity or equality. But on the other hand, it just does not prevail prominently amongst the Muslims or various other religions as well. So even this caste system might find it difficult, though of course it is not a very system to be celebrated about, but definitely it is a part of the Hindu system, and it needs maybe in some or the other way it might we look forward to be adjusted in the UCC as well, but that definitely might be a problem. So no group, either in favor or against the Uniform Civil Code, has been able to prepare a text of what a UCC would realistically mean for a confusingly diverse Indian society. So definitely, it says that it is not at all easy that we have the UCC. Had I, had I not asked you guys a question whether it is a DPSP or a fundamental right, I would have given you a better explanation. So I'm hoping that you guys give me the right answer, and then I'll give you a little more explanation of this in tomorrow's newspaper analysis for sure. With this, let's move further with the news updates for the day. Firstly, India ranks last in Environment Performance Index 2022. So India has finished at the bottom of the Environment Performance Index 2022 released by the World Bank. Now this becomes important over here, that the Environment Performance Index is released by World Bank. So you might get options of United Nations Environment Program or a World Health Organization or stuff like that. But please remember that it is United Nations. This is actually Environment Performance Index, which is released by World Bank. So out of 180 countries that have been ranked, India is in the bottom 5 with a score of 18.9. So the score of 27.6, the Denmark was ranked first in the sustainability and environmental health. So this is definitely not something that we should be happy about. It's really a reason to worry. Secondly, India and Vietnam signed a mutual logistics agreement. So the defense ministers of both the countries have signed the joint vision statement on India-Vietnam defense partnership towards 2030, which will significantly enhance the scope and scale of existing defense cooperation. Also, India has signed several logistics agreements, including with all the Quad countries. And with that, you can also tell me if you know that which are the other Quad countries, if one of them is India. Then we have France, Singapore, and South Korea, beginning with a logistics exchange memorandum agreement with US in 2016. Thirdly, Mithali Raj announces retirement from international cricket. So Mithali Raj, who's the captain of Indian women's ODI and test teams, announced her retirement from all forms of international cricket. Fourthly, NHAI, that is a National Highway Authority of India's road laying feat, enters Guinness. So the National Highway Authority of India has entered the Guinness World Records for longest continuously laid bituminous lane of 75 kilometers in 105 hours and 33 minutes on the national highway between Amravati and Akola districts in Maharashtra. So we just can hope that all the roads within the country could be built at such high speed, so there would be no broken roads left, within maybe a few days. So that is something to be very happy and proud about. So that's great. Fifthly, pollution body bans coal use in Delhi. So the use of coal as fuel in industrial domestic units will be banned by in the National Capital Region from January 2023, but the ban will not apply to thermal power plants. This is important that it will not apply to the thermal power plants. Incidentally, the largest users of coal, exactly which I was going to discuss, that actually thermal power plants are the largest, the consumption of coal is actually done in the thermal power plants, according to a notification by now this has been done by the Commission for Air Quality Management. Let's see what do we have for the latest case laws for the day. Firstly, DRT not empowered in law to restrain a debtor's fundamental right to travel abroad, says the Bombay High Court. So the Debt Recovery Tribunal cannot restrain a citizen from traveling abroad since there is no specific or implied provision empowering it under the Recovery of Debts Due to Banks and Financial Institutions Act 1993. This has been held by the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court in the case of Anurag, who's son of Padmesh Gupta versus Bank of India. Secondly, Commission for Local Investigation cannot be set up to ascertain issues irrelevant to dispute, says the Kerala High Court in the case of KM Abdul Jaleel versus Thazhe, Iravath, Rabiya and others. So it has been held that a commission that is for local inspection can only be set up by a court to ascertain matters which are necessary to elucidate the issues involved in the dispute and not on a mere asking by one of the litigating parties. So this was all for today. We hope you liked this session. If you did, then you will like it. Also, if you wish to download the PDF of today's slides, you can join our Telegram channel. The link is there in the description box below, or you can simply scan this QR code that you can see on your screens right now. Thank you so much.